Okay, from all this, let's speak with Tom O'Connor. He's a senior foreign policy writer at Newsweek and joins me now from New York. Tom, always good seeing you. So,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Al
much.
Sadr
Pleasure.
has been a dominant figure in Iraqi politics for, what is it, 18 years? I mean, it seems nothing's really changed after these elections.
No, certainly. I would say one of the more, one of the more important things that's happened is certainly put Mr. Sadr at the forefront of Iraqi politics now. Whereas he's always been a mainstream grassroots figure, it's now clear that he is the undisputed winner of this election, and that his ability to mobilize and his organization's ability to mobilize voters is unparalleled right now, at least among those currently in the running. So both the U.S., Iran, various factions within the country itself will now have to deal with Sadr and figure out how to come to terms with his influence within the country.
Hey, what impact do you think this election result has on the Middle East, if any?
Well, I think that in some ways, if you look at U.S. interests, Saudi interests, Iranian interests, Sadr can prove to be somewhat of a spoiler there because he has shown an ability to deal with all sides, within Iraq itself, and at the same time weigh them against each other. So I think that moving forward, if the Sadrist bloc does have that sort of influence to be able to choose the next leader of Iraq, then we're going to have to see how these actors are going to basically handle with him. It'll be a negotiation, and we know that within Iraqi politics that these can drag out for some time and lead to some really bitter disputes. We've already seen a lot of fracturing within the Shia factions, which have dominated Iraq, of course. And so how these actors can react to his role will essentially dictate their own role in Iraqi society.
Tom, you mentioned in your first answer that he has a lot of support in Iraq, but we saw one of the lowest voter turnouts in the country's history. Many people there say they wanted change but didn't vote, saying voting would not benefit them. Was it a mistake to not cast a ballot?
Well, I think that that's obviously, you're right in any democracy, if and Iraq is trying to establish itself as a democracy, is to also not vote. And in some ways, that is an expression. That is it's in itself a protest. And I think that one thing, major thing we've lacked here and discussed in Iraqi elections and even among the candidates in their own platforms is to not even really be discussing some of the major issues that are on the top of the line for everyday Iraqis, including infrastructure, economy. It's been very much a security project, a geopolitical project, and certainly a attempt, a competition to master the discourse. But I think a lot of voters were disappointed not to see issues that affect them on a daily basis.
All right, Tom O'Connor at Newsweek. Once again, appreciate your time.